Hi, I'm Dustin Abbott, and I'm here to give you my quick review of the Tamron 50-400mm F4.5-6.3 VC VXD lens for Sony E-mount full-frame mirrorless cameras. The A067, as Tamron calls it, is another genre-busting zoom from Tamron that expands the zoom range from the standard of 100 to 400 millimeters to 50 to 400 millimeters, which allows you to go from this to this and increases the zoom ratio from 4 times to 8 times. That dramatically expands the versatility of the lens and the kinds of subjects you can cover with it. I particularly think that the A067 makes for a very intriguing landscape lens, giving you a huge variety of ways to approach a scene. The A067 follows a recent Tamron trend of moving their lenses on Sony more upscale, with a focus on improved finish and features. This includes a more robust feature set that includes a focus hold button, a switch to access multiple VC or optical stabilizer modes, a switch that allows you to access 3 customizable modes that can be programmed via Tamron's free lens utility software. The lens easily connects via a weather-sealed USB-C port on the lens, where firmware updates can also be done to help future-proof the lens. The lens also has a thorough weather sealing elsewhere, with 9 seal points throughout the lens and a flooring coating on the front element. The zoom ring moves smoothly and has a lock that can be engaged to prevent zoom creep. Despite the increased zoom range, Tamron has managed to keep the size relatively compact. The A067 is 183 millimeters in length and 88.5 millimeters in diameter, giving it a compact 67 millimeter filter size that is shared across the vast majority of Tamron's lenses on the platform. It weighs 1,155 grams, making it significantly lighter than Sony's 100 to 400 millimeter GM. And as you can see, it is dwarfed by Sony's even larger 200 to 600 millimeter G lens. The Tamron is actually slightly smaller even than the Sigma 100 to 400 DN, though it weighs a tiny 20 grams more. There's one potentially controversial part of the design. The A067 is designed for use with a tripod collar, but it is a separate accessory. Many users will prefer that the tripod collar be included, but clearly Tamron gambled that not including it would allow them to offer the lens at a more attractive price. The collar can be had for an additional $130. One other limiting factor is that on Sony, only first-party lenses are compatible with teleconverters, so the A067 will only be able to be used as a bare lens. Despite these limitations, this is a beautifully designed lens that can compete on merit in many ways with the Sony G Master lens. One other strength is that the A067 has a very high magnification level at both the 50mm and 400mm ends. On the wide end, you can focus as closely as 25 centimeters and can achieve an extremely high magnification figure of 0.50 times, or a 1 to 2 macro level. On the telephoto end, the MFD is further at 1.5 meters, but still achieves a high magnification figure of 0.25 times. This obviously adds to the versatility of the lens. Tamron equipped the A067 with their vibration compensation stabilizer, which helps to give stable results. I was able to get this shot of Loki at 1/13 of a second that shows no motion blur. I found that stability for video work above 100 millimeters wasn't quite as good, however, so I would prefer a tripod for longer video shots. Autofocus comes via Tamron's high-speed VXD linear focus motor. Autofocus is silent, fast, and accurate. I was able to effectively track high-speed action shots of dogs running with roughly an 85% accuracy rate even at high-speed burst. Most misses were when the subject got very close to the camera, which is typical. As is usual for third-party lenses on Sony, unfortunately, burst rate is capped at 15 frames per second on Sony sport bodies like the A9 series and Alpha 1. I also had no problem acquiring and tracking birds in flight and saw very good IAF with animal subjects even when shooting through the bars of my deck. All in all, autofocus performance is strong. Sony's alternatives are slightly better, but they also cost significantly more. Image quality is also strong from the A067. The MTF chart suggests an extremely consistent performance across the frame at 50 millimeters, which is exactly what I see. The lens is extremely sharp at f4.5 with only a little room for improvement when stopping down. Sharpness through 100 millimeters remains at a very high level with a mild drop-off at 135 millimeters. When I compared to the Sony 200 to 600G, which I own, I found the performance was very similar at 200 millimeters, though I felt that the Sony was a bit sharper at 300 millimeters and 400 millimeters. Real-world results from the A067 are very sharp, with high contrast and very low fringing of any kind. Here are a few real-world results at 300 and 400 millimeters. There is a mild amount of pincushion distortion and vignette, though it is easily corrected via profiles either in camera or in software for raw images. The quality of the bokeh is good overall. At close focus distances, you can completely blur out the backgrounds, but the quality of the background blur remains pretty good even in more challenging situations. In general, I feel like the image quality is going to make pretty much everyone happy with this lens. At the end of the day, I feel like the word that best describes the Tamron 50-400mm VC is versatility. That additional 50 millimeters makes it much more likely that you'll be able to carry just one lens in many scenarios, and the strong autofocus, high magnification, and excellent image quality makes the lens feel like a strong value at $1,299 US. The primary reason to choose the more expensive Sony alternatives is if you absolutely need to use teleconverters or want to unlock higher burst rates on Sony sport bodies. If you want a deeper dive into the attributes and performance of the lens, check out either my definitive video review that's coming soon or a thorough text review that is linked in the description below. You'll also find buying links in the description, along with the opportunity to follow myself or Craig on social media, to become a patron, purchase channel merchandise, and of course, if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button right here on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and let the light in.